Okay, let's talk about the A chord. There are actually three ways to play the A chord. I'll show all three of them to you. The first one is the most popular and the way most people play it, and it is with your three middle fingers just all stacked together, placed on the all within the second fret between the second, third, and fourth strings. Now it gets a little crowded in there, so we want to get our ring finger right in there, snug, right up against that fret bar there, and the second fret. That gives us enough room so we've got our top finger, our index finger, so it's not back here on the first fret, so we don't get that muffled sound. We just kind of get them all in there. So the notes we got here are on the fourth string, we've got an E, and in the middle we've got an A, and then on the second string we've got what note? Well, here's C down here, right? So that's got to be C sharp. So we got E, A, and C sharp. Notice that the root note for the A chord's got to be an A. So here it is up here on the fifth string. It's open. So convention says we strum the A from the fifth string down. Like we kind of talked about this back in lesson 3, I think it was, with that X on that chord diagram on that sixth string, but that's an open E. Same as that fourth string E. So I think it sounds, don't worry about including that on your strum if you need to. No worries. All right, so the other way of playing, you'll see some people play the A, not a lot of people, but some people advocate playing with these two fingers switched. So the index finger goes on the third string and the middle finger comes across and goes on the fourth string like that. The argument for playing it this way, and they're right, I guess, is that some people find it easier to transition from the A to the D because they can keep their index finger anchored on that A string and they move it down there to form the D. We'll talk about more about this in a little bit here. But otherwise, from the A, you just drop down. It's not in my opinion, not a big deal. And I find playing this is a lot more comfortable for me anyway. But this is how you play the A. Most people play the A this way. The other one is a B chord, and the B chord is up here on the fourth string with your index finger down here. Again, we haven't talked about the B chord yet, but we will. And if you see it coming in a song and you're over here, say you're playing an E, and you're going to next play an A, and then you're going to play a B, well then if you play it with the bottom three bottom three fingers, then you can just slide up to the fourth fret to play that B. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Most of the time, I would recommend that you play it just like this: stacked middle fingers on the second fret, just like that, on strings 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so now we're going to practice that just like we did with the G, C, and D. We're going to set our metronome for 60. So let me get my metronome going. All right. And just like before, we're just going to do 8 bars of the A. And all we're trying to accomplish here is the same thing as we did before. We want to get used to our fingers in there, how our fingers fit in there. We want to get them in there so we get nice clear notes. Okay. We don't want the ring finger touching the bottom string or our index finger touching the fifth string. We don't want any muted strings. So just nice pure strings. Okay, we're going to try this. Just 8 bars of A, downstrokes, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and. Okay, give your fingertips a rest there. All right, now we're going to do 4 downstrokes of A. They're going to come off. We're going to do some air guitar. Remember to keep your right hand going, as I discussed before, and then we'll come back on, and off. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Back on. Okay, good. All right, now let's bump it up to 90 and try that again. Okay, here we go. Get back on the A. And 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, same thing, on and off now. Wiggle them fingers up a little bit here. Back on the A, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, good job. That's all there is for the A.